Range Rover has been the champion of luxury, well, especially in the SUV space. And that kind of explains where we are, right? That is Blenheim Palace, where Winston Churchill grew up. Now, back to the car. This is the P400e, which is taking luxury, sophistication and off-roadability to an all-new level, but this time around with electrification. Whoa, hang on. Before we get dirty, let's wallow a little bit in the luxury that it has to offer, right? And like we saw on the Velar earlier, the Range Rover now gets the new Touch Pro Duo display, and as we felt in the Velar, this just completes the ambience on the inside so well. That clean, minimalist design, it works beautifully with this layout now. Disappointingly, the display is crisp, but it isn't very responsive. However, the touch-sensitive steering-mounted controls are very easy to get used to, as the options change depending on the menu you are scrolling through. Changes also include wider seats at the front to make it easier to get in and out. They also offer 24-way adjustability on the top-end variants, and the rear seats have been revamped as well. So just so that you know, there is a long wheelbase version of the P400e as well, but what we've got right now is the short wheelbase or the regular wheelbase version. But in terms of luxury, I don't think you can really complain. We can show off some of the things here, of course, like the recline function, single touch, small little bits that enhance that sense of luxury, right? You don't have to hold down on the button to get to that stretched out mode. And you can see the front seats running away, little footrest has folded out, screen's adjusted. Yup. But if you plan to spend most of your time in the second row, our advice is go for the long wheelbase version. But honestly, this is not the part that just wowed me. The part that I really enjoyed was this. This opens up the sense of space on the inside dramatically. And when it comes to the seats, you've got massage functions. There's a hot stone massage function. The redesigned seats offer 24 other massage functions to choose from, and the seats are more plush. I certainly wouldn't complain. And this Range Rover with the executive seat package is also nicer for 3. Because you have an armrest that folds down on the push of a button, and that's not the best part yet. Where are the cup holders? Press another button. Watch what happens. Yeah, it extends out nicely, and then slide the cover open, and there you get your cup holders. And well, there's storage under the armrest as well. And what do we have here? A vanity mirror. Why? Well, clearly because they can't put one out here because, well, you have that giant sunroof, right? Now, if I have to nitpick, it would have to be about these switches here and up here on the door pad, which controls things like the, well, your opening for the sunroof and controls for the power windows and the sun blinds. It's just one single piece of glossy black plastic. So when you click on it, you're not quite sure whether the button has clicked in or not. If it had to be done in that, it would have been nice if it just had haptic feedback inbuilt to give you that positivity in terms of clicking the button. So there are tweaks on the inside and on the outside. The grille is now in mesh and also gets a chrome finish. The LED DRLs in the headlamp are sharper, and the top of the line variant gets pixel laser lamps that are now capable of lighting up the road up to 500 meters ahead. At the rear, the tail lamps have been redesigned too. And now it's time to get going. And for those of you who are interested in the India spec Range Rover, the 2018 Range Rover, you could tune out now because the P400e is not likely to come to India anytime soon. But if you like the geeky stuff, stick around with us, we'll tell you what this feels like to drive. First, we went for a dip. Now, even though this is a hybrid, its weighting depth is the same as the standard Range Rover, which is 900 millimeters. So you have the electric motor sandwiched between the engine and the transmission. It's part of the transmission actually. And then you have the battery pack, which is under the boot floor, and the other electrical bits underneath the car. Now, of course, we went off-road, and the Range Rover did what it does, makes that look really easy. Until you get into a really sticky situation, you realize, you were on the edge there. But on the whole, the really exciting part was driving around in the off-road in electric mode only. So you're traveling really silently. It's almost like you're part of the green picture outside. And you've got all-wheel drive with just electric power. And it can also use the low ratios in EV mode. Truly the strong and silent type. So we're going around at about 20 kilometers an hour and silence. Electric. Just can't get away from that. So just on electric power, the Range Rover could do about 51 kilometers, that's claimed, but real world should still be about 30 or 40 odd kilometers. Now, if you're talking about on-road for the very first time, the Range Rover is getting the dynamic mode, and this of course plays around with all your settings like throttle response, it plays around with your suspension setting, all of it to make it feel a little bit more connected.
There is also a comfort mode to make the going more relaxed. The recalibrated suspension and the redesigned front subframe aim to make the cabin more cocoon, and it felt like it was really wafting along.
Now, like we said, we're driving the plug-in hybrid here, and this is about 200 odd kilograms heavier than the standard Range Rover. And of course, to manage that additional weight, which sits a little higher up, the suspension has been retuned, and for the most part it feels luxurious, but every now and then you can feel that weight a little bit.
For India, the Range Rover will come with familiar powertrains, but there is one change.
Now, the engines that will come to India are the regular diesel and petrol variants. The 5-litre supercharged V8 is now operated at 550 PS, so it is just a little bit more powerful than before.
So the Range Rover for 2018 promises more Range Roveriness. It looks and feels more premium and is a bit more practical and versatile too. As you would expect, the new equipment will make it more expensive, but the import duties will hike prices further still. Depending on variant, expect the new Range Rover to be 8 to 35 lakh rupees more expensive. That's a massive chunk, a lavish one.